Hello and welcome to the Downtown Kentucky podcast. I'm Austin/Parfait.
And I'm Chris/Ox.
That's right, and that was a giant noise. I don't know if that got picked up.
I didn't hear it.
Alright, well, we'll see if it got on stream. But yeah, this is a podcast where we talk about, anything and everything, or nothing sometimes, because there's nothing. There's nothing in the news that's interesting enough to talk about, and it's kind of been that way for, the last month. So with, a somber head, that... with my head held low, and whatever. We're canceling
with heavy hearts and heads.
Yeah. The podcast is canceled. This is the last episode.
Hello. Sorry, guys.
If you are a big fan of the podcast, too bad.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, it really comes down to that. It's nothing personal. I liked the idea of doing this podcast. It just, for whatever reason, it just got harder and harder to make.
Yeah.
About 2 to 3 hours every week trying to find stories, just to sometimes find a couple stories, sometimes to not find stories at all and be like, crap, I need a pivot right now. And, it's a lot of stress for... well, realistically, not much. As well as just another reason is we're going to be, which we'll get to. We have a couple more announcements before we get to this announcement. There's a reason I kind of want to divert some of my energy to a different project. So
you're not just losing out entirely. We are, of course, going to be making more content.
If anything, we're actually technically going to be. Actually, no, we're still actually going to be making less content, but not by much. But yeah, so the podcast is gone. I guess, Chris, we didn't discuss this at all, but what's your favorite memory of our 26 episodes today being of the podcast?
Oh, jeez.
What was your favorite news story we ever covered?
Of the
Let's go with
that. My favorite news story that we ever covered, I think, has probably got to be, as much as I hate cryptocurrency, it's got to be the crypto hamster.
Oh my goodness, I was going to say Mr. Gox. That was going to be my answer. I love that poor little crypto hamster. Pour one out for him. All right. If you're an alcoholic.
Rest in peace to a legend.
But yeah, that was probably going to be mine. I guess I'll go with the secondary. One of my other favorites was the random ninja who attacked the military guys in California.
That was the one I was leaning with for a second, too.
Apparently, we have the same opinions on this podcast. Which, another reason we got to get rid of the podcast, we apparently are two agreeing, and we need to stop. There's no two voices on this. Apparently, it's one giant voice, because we both have the exact same favorite stories, and my camera's freaking out. I love when it does that.
Oh, it sure is.
Let's try to fix that. And maybe I'm back.
And he's back.
Maybe it'll freak out again. My camera's been doing this lately. It's a great feature.
Cool feature. Thanks, Logitech.
I really hope I have to pay, $75 for a new webcam. That'd be cool. Because I have that right now.
Yeah, not cheap.
I don't have that right now. I was joking.
Yeah.
If you would like to go subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/Downtown Kentucky, we don't offer you anything, but if you want to do a one-time donation of $75 for a new webcam, you'd be awesome. This is where I guess I should link to my, my Amazon wish list or whatever, like those, but I'm not a sexy enough streamer to do that. So
yeah, we'd have to make an OnlyFans.
Let me show some more skin.
Oh wow, is that a tattoo I see? Ooh. Oh my gosh, wow.
Oh, is that the Downtown Kentucky logo on my arm? Yes, it is. I had it before it was for this channel, so
true.
Does that make it better or worse? I don't know.
That's up to you to decide.
The world may never know. But yeah, so what other reminiscing moments? What other great stories or moments on the podcast? There really wasn't much. This podcast sucked.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I really did enjoy making this. I'd say I enjoyed making this podcast up until about the new year. After the new year, it got a lot harder to make this. Everything before that was great.
It's fair.
But then we took 2 weeks off, and it ruined everything. It ruined us in the algorithm. It ruined the podcast being able to be made for some reason.
It ruined all the news.
Yeah, just everything stopped working. My camera stopped working.
But yeah.
But yeah, the
you're
podcast...
losing this podcast, but we are still making other podcasts.
And you know what you're also losing? You're also losing... I'm just going to pivot the other way. I like your setup. It was better, but my setup is funnier to going to... And you know what else? You're also going to lose 2 movie club commentaries every week. But that comes literally just down to we're going to pivot to making another piece of content. But the other piece of content, you might wonder, where is it? What will it be called? How will I find it? Well, you won't find it on the Downtown Kentucky channel.
Well, that's
because we've launched a new YouTube channel.
That's right, baby. We had a fledgling YouTube channel, and what did we decide?
Let's make another
one. Why not?
I would definitely say that the piece of content on the Downtown Kentucky channel that I was the most proud of has been our Horror Boys podcast that we launched this January, and I loved it so much I said let's turn it into its own channel. So we now have a Horror Boys channel. You can go subscribe to it. Don't have a link ready for you right now, so I should have prepared that. Didn't think to.
So now you don't have to see all that scary horror commentary we do on our Downtown Kentucky, I mean, mostly gaming channel.
Yeah.
Gaming and also DCOM's currently commentary.
And now for probably another year, because of we said, the way we're transitioning it, we're probably gonna also have to do 2 years of DCOMs now to finish the list we had, because we are changing up the release schedule of that. Okay. Hello, Weeagooby. Goodbye, Weeagooby. See you later, Weeagooby. But yeah, so we've launched a Downtown Kentucky YouTube channel. If I wish YouTube was like Twitch or Patreon or any of the other services where I could just give you a really cool, easy way to get to it, but we don't have a good URL for it yet because YouTube puts good URLs behind success. So that's cool. I believe there is a link. If you go to any of our old Horror Boys episodes on the YouTube channel, there is a link in the description of all of those videos. So, and there will be a link. I'll also put a link in this. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is a link in the top of this description that says, takes you to the Horror Boys channel. So, hey, go subscribe to Horror Boys because we have a lot of plans for Horror Boys. Which will be more horror-themed content that will be coming your way in the future. You're really not losing much. You're just kind of... the content's changing, and it's now over 2 channels. I'll announce them right now. We have some of the series we are launching. In the next coming weeks to months. There's not an exact timetable for any of this, except for I'd actually argue this first one actually is within the next week or two. Will be I think it's not next week, but the week after that will be the first episode of this, which is our horrible. I think it's the plan I'm going for is horror commentaries, which is it's movie club commentaries, but for horror movies. Yeah, crappy. So
it's gonna be a little bit more edgy.
Yeah,
not as family friendly.
Yeah, that's why it's over on the Horror Boys channel because that's for the big boys. That's where the big boys watch TV. that's the little catchphrase for the channel, right? No, that's fair.
It's the big kids table for Thanksgiving.
Well, it's gotta be big boys table but spelled BOIS to go with the branding of the channel.
Right.
But so that'll be coming out. I believe the plan as of right now is not next week. Next week we'll have a movie club commentary, but the week after that will be the first episode of horrible commentaries. I gotta get really used to pronouncing that properly because if not, I
gotta make sure to over pronunciate the horror.
Yeah,
horrible.
Because the commentaries aren't horrible. We're watching horror movies, and most of them will be bad.
Not great.
Yeah. Other content. We will have some shorter form content coming out. If you're a big fan of Tournament of Champions, we might have a spiritual successor of sorts for that might pop up in the coming months. or weeks, or never. Who knows?
We'll decide at a point in time.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be all horror themed, and it'll be short form though. So look out for that. I think that's most of the channel updatey stuff.
Yeah.
No more this podcast. You're losing out on half of your movie club commentaries. But hey, we've launched a new channel it's gonna have completely different content, and now I have to run 2 channels at once. So that's a really cool thing, you know. But I'm looking forward to it because if you have listened to Horror Boys, you would know that I am falling in love with the horror genre, which is really ironic if you've known me for like as of even like November of last year.
Yeah.
I had seen like 10 horror movies and didn't care. And now I'm in. I'm in the deep end. I'm all about it now. So expect more horror content over on the Horror Boys channel. And expect a lot of gaming content over here. Pretty much nothing else is changing.
Yeah.
You just won't have this podcast. But you know what you will probably have? Starting next week, we'll go back to an hour and a half Let's Play for the throwback gameplay. So you're really only losing out on 30 minutes of content on this channel.
King Kong, baby!
Yeah, until you beat it. And then we can play
until I
something
beat
better. I mean, different.
Whoa. How dare you?
I don't like that game. But, you know, let's move on to the last remaining segment on the show. It's the final episode of Tournament of Champions. But wait! It's not just Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
It's Tournament of Champions of Champions.
Of Champions.
Champions. Chris, though, if these people are first-time listeners and last-time listeners, what is Tournament of Champions?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Tournament of Champions is a randomly seeded tournament in which we gather fighters from all over different sources of fiction and pit them against each other in a fight to the death. So you can get anyone from Rocky Balboa to good old Thanos.
Even though neither of them ever actually got put into this 2 seasons of this show we ended up being able to do. So
That's true.
That whole intro for all these was actually a lie. You could not get Rocky Balboa to
No.
Thanos.
You could get anyone from Rick Sanchez to Pinhead.
Sure. I mean, yes, but
Those people have been in this season.
they have. Well, Rick Sanchez is in season 1. But
Yeah. They have been in the Tournament of Champions.
yeah,
so
this was
far.
a great, a random drawing of 128 of 512 names I painstakingly made. So we have 128 of them have been put into this tournament. We're down to our final 8. So let's see who they are. We have this. I guess we'll go over the brackets and then sorry, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word. Okay. So, we have in our first of our West Coast brackets, we have the Season 2, Episode 3 champion, Korra, taking on the Season 2, Episode 5 champion, Pinhead.
Ooh.
Then also in the West Coast bracket, we have the episodes, I'm going to stop saying Season 2. It's Season 2. But, yeah. I'm on the wrong one. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
That's a spoiler for later. Oh, but also I just messed up stuff. Oops.
Huh.
Ignore the text right now.
Tournament of Champions of Champions of Champions.
I don't know what you're talking about of Champions of Champions. It's just one Champions.
Oh.
That wasn't gonna be... dang it. Oops. I forgot to create a second one of those and just changed the text and it ruined everything.
Uh-oh.
Spoiler! We might be doing a little discussion after this discussion.
I see.
Crap.
Whoopsie.
It's been a long day. But yeah, Episode 7 champion Luke Cage takes on Episode 7 champion Freddy Krueger.
Oh, we're very well familiar with Freddy Krueger at this point.
We are. We watched 4 of his movies, and 3 of our opinions are out there already.
That's right. Horror Boys.
Horror
Currently
Boys.
on Downtown Kentucky. Currently.
For the last episode, this episode 4. Follow the link in that episode to the new channel. Please,
Plug it.
please,
All right.
please follow.
And on the East Coast,
On the East Coast bracket, we have the Episode 6 champion, The Doctor, taking on the Episode 8 champion, Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Yeah, he's here, I guess.
That's fair. No, that's a fair reaction.
The season, we have the Episode 1 champion, Earthworm Jim. Because, somehow he made it. Who's taking on the Episode 2 champion? Slightly less surprising, but still kind of, wait, really? Juggernaut. Representing.
I mean,
but yeah, so.
all right.
I think we should hop right into this Tournament of Champions for Season 2.
I think we should.
Let's run down our
do it.
contenders. In this first matchup, we have the Episode 3 champion Korra, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Goliath, Kim Possible, and Jake the Dog, who is taking on Pinhead, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Duke Nukem, Crash Nebula, and Devil Jin. Alright, let us discuss this first round matchup.
All right.
So Korra, she is an avatar. She has the power to bend all the elements, and she's also really good at doing it.
Yep.
Including metal bending. Ooh.
Yeah. So she's got fire, water, earth, and air, and
Spirit. She can also bend spirit, the element of spirit. That's an element, I guess.
wait, what? Hold on. I need to know what spirit bending is because that might be important.
Despite her short time studying under her uncle, a spiritual expert, Korra managed to learn his technique of spirit bending, which involves changing negative energy into positive energy in spirits in order to pacify them.
Only managed to understand the mechanics in the beginning, Korra eventually successfully performed the technique and was able to calm countless small spirits at once.
She was even able to use the technique to destroy Unalag and purify the dark spirit, Vatu, when the two were fused together as the Dark Avatar. Following her uncle's death, Korra became the only known living practitioner of this skill.
Huh. Didn't know spirit bending was a thing,
She's
I'll be
also
honest.
an energy bender.
Didn't know that was a thing either. Wow, I should really watch the rest of The Legend of Korra, I guess. Jeez Louise.
I guess
She sounds kind of busted.
Yeah. She does not mention, blood bending though here, so I guess she's too good for that.
Oh, energy bending is when you restore the bending. Okay.
And then we have Pinhead, whose powers are vast and far beyond any human's ability to withstand. While he was working for Leviathan, though, he was invulnerable and immortal. And he is capable of teleportation, magically disguising himself as other people, and transforming humans into Cenobites.
Yeah.
He could also summon hellish forces and conjure hook chains out of thin air to tear his victims apart. Perhaps Pinhead's greatest ability was his talent for deception and manipulation, as he often tempted others into doing his bidding, with promises of fulfilling their darkest desires and fantasies. He did retain most of these abilities after severing his links to both his mortal self and thus Leviathan. I guess. So
the only real weakness lies within the same object used to summon him.
Yeah.
The Lamet configuration. The box can be used to banish him back to hell.
He's kind of broken, which is cool. It's a cool feature of him.
That's kind of cool, because Korra seemed kind of busted when she had, the power of spirit bending.
Which, he is a spirit, in a
Is he?
sense.
I mean, he probably has one, but I don't know if
once he separates himself from Leviathan, especially, it sounds like he's no longer mortal, which means he's not. I would argue that's a spirit, in the sense of the word, I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, do we want to flip a coin to see if he's still working for Leviathan? Because if not, he's literally invulnerable.
Yeah, I guess. Why not?
All
Sure.
right, let's go to my coin flipping thing, which
I guess while he isn't working for Leviathan, he is vulnerable, but still
I will say
pretty
my thoughts
incredibly
on
powerful.
this is if he's working for Leviathan, he's invulnerable. But if he is not working for Leviathan, I'm going to count him as a spirit and say she can bend him and turn him good.
Okay. pacify him.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
So,
fine with that. I think I'm fine with
heads
that.
for Pinhead, obviously. Tails for Korn.
All right.
Ooh, wait, that's not right.
And-
That's not the right words. We didn't specify what was what. I guess I worded that wrong, but I guess we'll say heads for working for Leviathan, therefore being invulnerable, therefore giving it to Pinhead. I worded
Therefore,
it
giving it to Pinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worded it in the totally wrong way.
I mean, that's basically what we were flipping
It
for.
was, but not officially.
But-
Officially, we're supposed to be flipping for something specific.
Whoopsies. Uh-oh.
But we're gonna stay right. We'll get to this. Actually, first we have to break down why people are here.
That's true.
We now have in our second first round matchup, we have our episode 7 champion Luke Cage, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Killmonger, Yoshimitsu, and Shovel Knight. He will be taking on the episode 4 champion Freddy Krueger, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Black Cat, Leonardo, and The Flash. And if you did listen to our episode 4 of this season, you would know that we have a special rule every time Freddy's here, which is we have to flip to see if he's in the dream world.
He's in the dream world. That's right.
I guess first, before we flip that, we will tell you Luke Cage's powers. We won't tell you Freddy's powers till we know where he's at.
He's a super strong guy.
Yeah, he's like insanely strong.
Yeah,
He has
he's pretty
superhuman
strong.
strength, which I believe he can lift up to approximately 25 tons.
No, it's just 5 tons.
Is it?
Wait, hold on.
25 tons.
It was only sufficient enough to approximately lift. Initially.
Yeah, he was able to
Sense of
get up.
physical training.
Yeah, 25 tons.
Hmm.
Superhuman stamina.
Yeah.
High 9 vulnerability. Luke Cage's body is as hard as titanium steel. His muscles and bones are super dense, granting him much greater resistance to physical injury. He can withstand the conventional handgun fire of 4 feet and cannot be cut by the sharpest blades. He can withstand up to 1 ton impacts or blasts of 150 pounds of TNT without serious injury. Yeah, he's insane. His physical strength is class 50, which means he can at least up to at least 50 tons. So take back what we said about
Possibly much more.
yeah. So he's so strong, and practically invulnerable.
Ridiculously strong, one might say.
Yeah, he's practically bulletproof. But let's find out if it's even gonna matter. Cause let's flip the coin to see if Freddy is in the dream world. Obviously, heads for the dreams, cause that's where you dream. Let's flip that coin. First, we'll reset so there's no confusion. And Freddy is going to win because it is in the dream world, which means he has dream manipulation, dream slaying, psychic powers, and soul consumption. He is... The reason he's going to win is because it has dream manipulation power. In the dream realm, Freddy is practically a god with seemingly omnipotent presence. And here's the thing, if you could pull him out of the dream world, as someone who's been watching these movies lately, he could be beaten by a literal girl. But if he's not, I think it's going to be...
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Because we've watched 4 of these movies now.
Uh-huh.
And the Dream Warriors have managed to beat him in the dream world.
But that was because Nancy knew to stab him with his own... No, it wasn't. That it was out there. His bones had to be put under... He was only beaten that time because his bones were put...
They had to be consecrated.
Which if Luke Cage is in the dream world, he can't do that.
However, he's also been overpowered by people whose powers were excelling at gymnastics.
But only kind of. He would have definitely killed them if he wasn't stopped by his bones being buried in the overworld. Or the non-dream world. Like, there had to be someone on the outside also doing it for him to be able to be stopped.
That's true.
And if this is in the dream world, Luke Cage is going to lose.
And I guess he doesn't only kill people, although in the past few movies, he definitely has been very fond of stabbing people to death.
Yeah, but he can find
But
a
I
way.
don't think he would be able to stab Luke Cage
No.
to death. I think he'd probably just end up being swallowed into a metaphorical hell pit.
I don't even know, though, because
in
this
the
is
real
the
life.
dream world where he has this godlike powers. Who's saying he can't make a titanium steel he was able to turn his hand into, hypodermic needles. Why can't he turn his hand into super, like...
Vibranium?
Yeah, vibranium or something. Like, that's the thing is he is a...
That's true.
I would say he's if he's in the dream world, Freddy is nigh unbeatable. Not unbeatable, but nigh unbeatable.
Yeah.
Unless you know to, show him his reflection. But that movie sucks, so we're not even going to acknowledge that.
That's true.
But also... You also have to
You just got to know the right.
You have to know the right
nursery
rhyme, which I don't think Luke Cage would know.
You got to know the Dream Master rhyme.
Yeah, which I don't think Luke Cage knows the Dream Master rhyme.
Some deep cut Nightmare on Elm Street references.
Go watch Horror Boys when that episode comes out on Monday.
All right,
that'll be the last episode you can see on Downtown Kentucky. Now let's head over to our East Coast where we have the Doctor. This is the battle I'm looking most forward to because I want the Doctor to win, I guess. I hate both of these characters, honestly. If you watched episode 6, where the Doctor was the champion, he made his way to the Tournament of Champions by the ways of victory over Snake Eyes, Toph, and Static. While Sasuke, he made it to the Tournament of Champions from the episode 8 one by victories over Aang, Jessica Jones, and Vlad. From Danny Phantom, if that name
Which
means...
I feel like are the 3 most impressive victories anyone's had over their people to get here.
Yeah. Probably.
Not saying that, some of these people didn't deserve to get here.
No.
But, Sasuke really fought to get to where
I don't know. I'd argue, really, he had an insane round 1 and then was kind of handed to him because there was 2 really good people in that turn. Jessica Jones is just a person. And Vlad... Any of the top tier people could beat him.
Yeah, top tier.
Yeah.
He's like a high, bottom top tier.
Nah, he's only hot. He's
like an insanely powerful ghost man.
Yeah, that's
who almost took over the human world.
Well, here's the thing. He lost. Who cares about him?
That's true.
We have the Doctor versus Earthworm. Earthworm, nope. Oh, sorry.
That would be a much easier fight to determine.
It would be, but we have to do the Doctor versus Sasuke first. Let's break down. What brought him to the dance? How do they fight?
Yeah. Find out.
The Doctor is so
powers.
annoying. Doctor has regeneration. And can regenerate if he's about to die. He's superhuman intelligent.
Yeah.
He's an omnilinguist. He's a skilled combatant in a lot of different forms.
Not just superhuman intelligent. They're vastly more intelligent than most beings in the universe. So it's more just like super being intelligence.
Superhuman strength, which, you would argue is never really seen in the show, except for that one time where he broke down steel doors, or chopped a brick in half, or ripped a stone arm off a statue. Yeah. Then other times, he's just a normal dude. It's really, he's an annoying character where his powers fluctuate constantly. Yeah. He has superhuman senses. He has superhuman durability. While the level of durability is undefined, he has been able to survive harsh conditions, which include, but not limited to, low pressure coldness of space without a suit, sub-zero temperatures, extreme heats, multiple electric shocks, X-ray radiation, and falls from hundreds of feet. Though the 4th Doctor wasn't... Okay, whatever, I don't care about that. He also has enhanced lung capacity, superhuman endurance, superhuman speed, superhuman healing. He has telepathy. He has a temporal resistance even. Longevity. He can live forever, barring accidents. Whatever that means. And then, there's also... He is the last of the Time Lords, which meant he took out all the other Time Lords who are just as equally strong. Which is really the thing that makes his power so unquantifiable. Because these characters are described as insanely powerful, but then you actually watch them, and they're kind of not, but they are, and he took them all out, which makes him the best of them. And speaking of a character who is annoying, we also have Sasuke.
Hooray!
Who I know absolutely nothing about, and expected him to go out in round 1 to Aang, but here he is.
Here he is. Here he is.
It's really the chakra is really what breaks him for the most part. He also has a bunch of other stuff that breaks him, though. I don't know. I don't know enough about either of these characters. I mean, I know more about the Doctor, and honestly, the Doctor irritates me because he's not as powerful as he is on paper. But he also
But he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he can both be,
It's-
like, captured by a Dalek or any, like, the random other, like, I haven't watched a lot of the show, but, like, there's, like, times where he's just, like, trapped by relatively seeming normal people. He eventually escaped, but if they can take him down that easily, you'd think a super powerful being would be able to take him down. But not the other super powerful, Time Lords, so who knows? He's stupid and broken. So Sasuke, though, in a different way.
Yeah. Well, the Doctor, it's more that, like, his moral code now is so much more refined than what it was when he, murdered his entire race of people.
Fair.
It was kind of that event that broke him, and he was like, you know what? Maybe I won't be a homicidal maniac anymore.
Well, it would have been a lot easier to quantify his powers if he still was, for the whole show.
No, it's true.
We
It
had a whole
definitely would
show
make
of-
it easier on us.
Yes, so I'm very irritated in the Doctor.
If we had a show where the Doctor was the villain,
Or,
Make life
the
so much
Freddy-esque
easier for us.
hero. Yeah.
just making really bad quips as
Yeah.
he murders entire planets.
Yeah, you understand. That's what I want. That's our new... Someone write that as a fan fiction if you ever find this podcast.
Just based on his like superhuman durability
Uh-huh.
and his superhuman intelligence, I think that the Doctor does actually somehow manage to come out on top on this one.
I mean, I know more about him, so I am slightly more okay with that.
Because Sasuke, like, the main thing that he has on a lot of people is his ability to, like, trap people in eternal, like, illusions.
Uh-huh.
The Doctor, though, I feel like would recognize that he's in an illusion and be able to get himself out, because that's kind of just what the Doctor deals with on a regular basis.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know that about Sasuke, but from what you're describing, that makes complete sense to me.
And then, his other powers are fire and electricity,
Oh, the Doctor can withstand all those. Did you not
which
read
he
that?
can withstand all of those things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
I-
right, cool. Doctor
I-
moves on. We're no more. We're just, before
I
you
think
change
the
your mind.
Doctor just outlasts Sasuke. I think he does. And
All right.
I really just want to say that to make all the Sasuke stands mad as well.
And my camera's freaking out.
Ooh. Is this the horror movie Unfriended? Did you unfriend somebody on Facebook, Austin?
I
They're coming to
did.
get you.
And I also was, really mean to her in a video before she died, and that's why she's coming after me, I guess, maybe. But now in the next movie, it's this weird hacker cult or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You should make a movie about that.
Oh,
wait,
cool.
somebody did already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should watch it.
I mean, at some point we will.
Yeah.
For one of the things we do, we will eventually watch that movie.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Let's move on to our
I'll
last
plan on these.
round one battle,
Yeah.
which is the episode 1 champion, Earthworm Jim, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Chewbacca, Spyro, and Prowler. He is taking on the episode 2 champion, the Juggernaut, who has made it to the Tournament of Champions by the way of victories over Solomon Grundy, Johnny Cage, and Violet Parr.
Wow, he beat a 13-year-old girl. Impressive.
Really impressive. He ripped her in half and, made a curse at her.
I'm the Juggernaut. Violet Parr.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's what he said.
Yeah, he killed her. She's dead. All those people are dead. Because that's how this tournament works. This is a fight to the death. I don't know if we mentioned that. All those other characters are dead. Never to be seen again.
So, Earthworm Jim versus the Juggernaut.
Let's talk about their powers, which you might think, oh, this is a guarantee. But Earthworm Jim did make it here, so we do have to take that into account.
Yeah. How? Well, he has pixel art, and that's really how he made it here,
See,
actually.
look at that cool Pixar. Ooh.
Yeah,
He
I
shoots
can
his own
see
head
it.
off.
I don't think you guys can.
No, they can't.
I can't.
To battle evildoers, Jim primarily relies on his super suit, which grants him superior strength, durability, and the ability to do many things a worm could not normally do due to its lack of limbs. His main weapon is the rapid fire plasma blaster, which can also fire massive and powerful beams with a power-up collected. Many of Jim's signature abilities, however, are not due to his super suit itself, but to his own long, stretchy worm body, For instances, he can use himself as a whip to attack his enemies at close and mid range. He can also do a couple other weird wormy things. I thought there was information on the super suit. Is this maybe not the same one I used before?
I mean, it just gives him super strength.
I thought I'd like defined the super strength and durability, if I remember right, and that's why we kept him here, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I think it's... The Juggernaut he's an avatar, apparently. No, for the deity known as...
Sidorak.
Sure. Juggernaut gains various superhuman powers while acting as an avatar, as described below. Superhuman strength, superhuman stamina, invulnerability. He is virtually impregnable. You cannot pregnate him.
Nope, cannot. It's not possible.
All forms of conventional physical injury, regardless of the magnitude or intensity. He can be hurt by mental and mystical attacks. But even those don't give him permanent damage. Despite his extreme resistance to physical damage, Kane can be damaged by sufficiently powerful forces, such as mystical forces. It really looks like his answer is, you have to be mystical.
You have to be magic.
He's also immortal, functionally, because of all that. His aging process is completely... So he's not going to die from anything but mystical... An insane amount of mystical damage that no one here could do. Or, sorry, not no one here, but like, he's winning. There's no...
Yeah.
He's a class 100. Earlier we talked about Luke Cage being a class 50? Which means he can lift...
far in excess of 100 tons...
effortlessly!
I struggled to lift like 35 pounds, so 100 tons, that's pretty impressive.
Well, is your form in the middle of the bar awkwardly? Because that's the way you're supposed to lift 35 pounds.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about a bench press. I'm talking about like a curl with a dumbbell.
Gotcha. I was just making it.
No, I could definitely do 35 bar. Or 35
I figured you could. I was just making a reference to a different show we do that no one watches.
True. No, my elbows actually rip apart when I...
your arms start turning into bug arms? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Juggernaut is susceptible to... his weaknesses include, are just the high levels of mental and mystical attacks. But neither has been shown... None of them have been able to permanently injure him, such as death. So...
Ooh, yikes.
Oopsie, whoops. Juggernaut moves on.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah. So let's head on over to our round... This one. The semifinals of the Tournament of Champions of Season 2. Where we have Pinhead taking on Freddy Krueger, baby.
Two horror legends.
Yeah.
Who will come out on top?
Well, we have a couple things to do. We have 2 coin flips to do before we find out.
That's true. Leviathan.
Let's do the Freddy one first.
Okay. That will definitely make a very large determination.
Yeah. Heads for the dreams, tails for not. He's in the dream world.
Now, hold on.
I know.
We do still need to flip for Pinhead.
Is Leviathan in control? Is he invulnerable due to his Leviathan connection? Let's hope so, because if not, I don't know how to argue this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
Heads for being controlled by Leviathan. All right.
Okay. We've got 2 pretty much immortal beings.
Wait, no. Oh, yeah, you're right. Ooh. I was just going to go give it straight to Pinhead, but I don't know if it is. This is...
Also, I don't think Pinhead dreams. But... I'm going to say it. I don't think he sleeps at all.
But we flipped saying they're in the dream world, so he is.
And then he just drags Freddy down to hell, and he's like, "No, this is where I live."
So here's the thing. I will say this. I would argue, yes, he does not dream, but due to the fact that he's going to try to. I don't know. No, maybe not. I don't know. I have no answer. This one's broken. These characters were never meant to fight.
No, absolutely not. That's why we never got the Freddy versus Pinhead movie.
Dang it.
Because I don't think there would have been a legitimate way for them to fight. I don't think we'll ever get a Pinhead versus anyone movie.
Yeah.
Because all of the Hellraiser movies are
I will
pretty much
say
just
this. I will
Pinhead
tell you
tormenting
why
people.
Pinhead wins.
Okay.
Because we have there's one thing we have not mentioned at all,
Mm-hmm.
which is Freddy's other weakness, which is not being people being afraid of him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he you know
And Pinhead doesn't feel fear.
yeah.
So Freddy has no power over Pinhead.
Yeah, which means even in the dream world, Pinhead just does not care.
Yeah.
And Pinhead wins.
All right. But what if I rip you apart in your own dream world?
Yeah.
Sir, you can reform, but I'm just going to keep doing it.
And then Pinhead goes, "Hey, look at your reflection." And he goes, "No, you know the rhyme."
Oh, jeez.
Talk about another I don't want to do this discussion. We have
Yeah,
the Doctor
that's
versus the
fair.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
I would argue one of the things the Doctor can do is psychometric telepathy,
Uh-huh.
which no, not really. That's not going to help.
Related psychic abilities, memory control, and hypnosis.
Those don't really like.
Needs a physical contact, which,
Yeah.
getting into physical contact with Juggernaut is a task in and of itself.
I think it really comes down to is I don't
think the Doctor has any really mystical powers.
know. So I think,
I
and even if he
think
does,
Juggernaut-
it hasn't caused death to Juggernaut. It only hurts him a little bit, you know. And I think with the fact that the Time Lords can be killed because the Doctor did it, the Juggernaut will kill him.
Yeah, I think the Juggernaut being like a mystical, super strong human being definitely changes the game a little bit as opposed to your normal everyday like super strong guy.
Yeah.
Especially since he can lift 100 tons effortlessly.
Yeah.
I feel like if he just gets a hold of the Doctor, he kind of just
Kills him. He just kills him.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to is the Juggernaut is going to move on. And
the Doctor's like almost the immovable object, almost,
but not quite.
but definitely not against the Juggernaut,
Nah.
who is absolutely the unstoppable force.
Yeah, which takes us to our
Speaking
finals.
of which, it's time to flip that coin again.
Yeah, let's see if he is invulnerable.
Let's see if he is the immovable object.
Pinhead, and he is. He is.
He is.
Which-
and he is.
And here's the thing. I will say, technically speaking, due to what we've read here, this fight will literally never end. But I think Pinhead will just torture him for eternity. And we are going to call that a victory.
I think so.
The rule has always been kill them, which sadly I don't think the Juggernaut can die with the way that's written, at least according to this, this wiki article. But I do.
Some would say that the powers of hell are mystical forces.
Well, the thing, I'm not. Pinhead definitely has the mystical thing to hurt him, but as we've read, those hurtings don't kill him, even. But I will say, I think he, mystically hurts him with these chains for eternity and gets immense pleasure out of it for eternity. And Pinhead is happy while Juggernaut is somewhat suffering for eternity.
Suffering for
And
all eternity. Yeah.
so, considering neither of them will ever die, we will give the guy who is enjoying himself the win over the guy who is suffering. In
I think
a
that's fair.
unprecedented non-death Tournament of Champions win, we have Pinhead.
Death or lost by submission.
Yeah.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Because you may be wondering, well, the time for the podcast to end, right? Well, no. I promised you, gosh darn it, a Tournament of Champions of Champions of Champions at some point at the end of us doing Tournament of Champions, and we didn't make it to 8 seasons of Tournament of Champions like planned, but we did make it to 2, which means we do have 2 seasons champions, and I think it's time to find out who is the champion of champion of champions of champions of champions of champions of champions of champions of Machamp. Hey, look, it says season 2 because it's the same text file. Oops.
Uh-oh. Of Champions. Perfect.
There it is. Oh, it was always there.
Oh, updated all the time.
Boom. We do need to keep that. So.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. Gotta have that. That's a big one to have.
The thing is, I don't even know if it is. This is such a weird.
And
fight.
then also, it's probably still not a big one.
Yeah. All right. So first, before we break down who's winning, we gotta do our cool intros, which means we have first off, we have the season 1 champion, Scarlet Witch, who has made it to the tournament of champions by
Champions
of
tournaments.
by the way of victories over Astro Boy, Eddie Gordo,
Whoa.
Ganondorf, Jack, Bayonetta, and Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, it started off pretty weak, but then it got more impressive as it went on.
Yeah, her first two, she kind of got handed the first 2 victories, but let's be honest, it doesn't matter.
No.
And she is taking on our Season 2 champion, Pinhead, who has made it to the tournament of champions by way of victories over Duke Nukem, Crash Nebula, Devil Jin, Korra, Freddy Krueger, and the Juggernaut.
Girl.
And now it is time to decide the true champion. The champion of all of this. Nope, this one. We've already been over Pinhead's powers a lot today, so let's talk about Wanda's powers.
Let's do it.
She has the power of witchcraft, including, chaos magic.
Chaos magic.
And divine sources and spells and phrases. Okay. Which includes a bunch of other small things within that.
Yeah.
Like, you name it, she probably has a form of it. And it really, when it comes
Hold on. Scroll up and I'll give a quick reading over all of the different...
Okay.
All right. Astral projection. Binding. Biological manipulation. Bond manipulation. Chaos manipulation. Clairvoyance. Energy constructs. Energy manipulation, such as energy absorption, energy projection, and energy transferal. Blight. Force fields. Gravity manipulation. Illusion casting. Invisibility. Location tracking. Magical awareness. Mechanical manipulation. Nature manipulation. And elemental manipulation. Weather control. Necromancy. Non-physical interaction. Portal creation. Power resistance. Protection spells. Purification. Reality manipulation. Such as replication, scanning, scrying, and soul manipulation. Oh, you know what? Those are all completely separate.
Yes,
doesn't matter. Superpower manipulation. Telekinesis. Telepathy. Emotion manipulation. Teleportation. Time manipulation. Transmutation. Witch sight. Probability manipulation. And that is the list of her powers, not including her abilities, which does include dancing.
She also has life force and telepathy resistance at one point in her time.
Good. Great.
And there's one thing that I don't know which one of those it falls under, but it's the reason that Wanda made it here, and it's my very, very basic knowledge of comic history, which is referencing the House of M storyline, where she literally completely destroys the Marvel Universe and then rebuilds it herself. Which is a level of power that is insane. And before we know for sure who wins this, let us find out if he has the powers of Leviathan or not. Which I don't know if it's better or worse to have them. I don't know.
I don't know if it makes a huge difference.
I really don't know if it does. And let's flip though. And he does, though.
And he does.
He has. Him and Freddy did get perfect flips throughout this, where they got the best chance for each of them.
It doesn't matter. She scries the Pinhead's mind to find that his only weakness is the cube. Teleports the cube to herself, and then puts him back in hell.
And then
she destroys the cube.
She destroys the universe the cube is in, and just remakes the universe with the exact same universe without the cube. Honestly, yes, I wish we could have given you 6 more seasons of this show, but realistically,
Scarlet Witch
was going to win in the end no matter what we did.
Yeah. It's kind of something that has always been in the back of our minds ever since she first fought.
Yeah.
This is the inevitable end.
Yeah, no, she is. The House of M storyline breaks her beyond belief. It makes her the most powerful entity in like the whole universe that is the Marvel universe, which has some insanely powerful people. And
that's true. No, yeah.
I think Pinhead maybe was one of the best chances, but like you said, she gets into his mind, she finds out what he wants and what he needs to be destroyed, and just does it.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. And you know, it's really that simple. Our podcast, it's over, it's done. We'll never see you again. Or maybe we will. As the title of this podcast has been on both platforms, it is ta-ta for now. Down the line, you know, once we're, you know, super successful superstars, maybe we'll bring this back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible.
It's quite possible, honestly. But for now, it is ta-ta for now. I've been Austin. He's been Chris. If you're on Twitch, stick around. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with some fun, I guess, gameplay of
I'll be having
game.
fun.
I'm not. But hey, maybe that's the dynamic you want to see. We'll see you in about 5 minutes, if that. If you're there, if you're on YouTube, goodbye forever from the Downtown Kentucky podcast. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.